Yes, I do. Do you hear me?
Yes, perfect. Thank you.
And if I may start by saying hello. And unfortunately, we have a budget today in the parliament, and we as ministers in Lithuania, we sit on two chairs, both as ministers and members of parliament. So sometimes when coalition has troubles, we have to be in Seimas. So this is the day. But my colleague Vilija Augutavičienė, she's also present from the ministry, and she will be ready to respond on some questions. And she's director of climate change department at the Ministry of Environment. But to start from the big perspective, even if climate change didn't exist, decarbonization would be beneficial for Lithuanian economy, because we have no jobs to lose. We have only jobs to gain. And we do send around 6% of national GDP abroad by purchasing fossil fuels, electricity, and other energy sources. So for Lithuania, it's only gains. It's not the same in Estonia. It's not the same in Poland, where the local resources exist and the jobs are to be demolished with decarbonization. So when we speak of Lithuanian climate neutrality strategy or decarbonization strategy, we pinpoint also to the possibilities that by reducing emissions, we create jobs locally, and we become less dependent on negative trade balances. So there's two documents in Lithuania which point at the Lithuanian both strategic level and measures. One of them is National Climate Change Management Agenda, adopted in 2020, which says that we should reduce emissions by 30%. And we have a sectorial decarbonization strategies for 5 different sectors, and they are put into National Energy and Climate Action Plan, which is presented for European Commission by every country, or shorter called the National Determined Contributions, as it used to be called in UN. So Lithuania is generally on a good pathway to reduce emissions. If we are emitting around 21 million cubic tons of CO2 equivalent nowadays. 1/3 of it is the companies in the emission trading sector, but with effort of national legislation, with effort of subsidies, with innovation, we are bound to actually fulfill our effort sharing mechanism and our obligation towards the European Union, and even go beyond them. This was not the fact before, and we have made some changes, and with concrete proposals, which I'll point out, that will have a success in upcoming 4 or 5 years. But seen from the continental perspective, our emissions happen on the continent. So blue economy, which is still to be developed outside, should complement and solve the emissions which happen continentally in Lithuania. We have in our forecasts in decarbonization strategies, both economic measures and regulatory measures which are in place. Just this year, we adopted very ambitious and probably most ambitious excise duty law proposal, which gives a way forward for fossil fuel taxation up to 2030. And this is the most ambitious energy taxation package probably in Eastern Europe. Secondly, we have emission trading system, which is expanded on European levels. So more companies, road and built environment, aviation, maritime sector will be put on the emission trading sector very, very, very soon. CBAM is also already starting. So, and a lot of subsidies for electric vehicles, renewable energy sources, and energy efficiency is also coming from the economic perspective. Meanwhile, there's a very fast way forward for green carpet or green corridor for renewable investments in Lithuania, and we have been a front runner in the Baltics probably, with national legislation opening and skipping some barriers. We have also increased our energy efficiency targets, both for housing and company and energy use. We have introduced alternative fuels to diesel and other fuel sources, and we have made the taxonomy on our banks work with some of proposals. To focus on sectors which give a primary energy, Lithuania is still a very much energy dependent, import dependent country, and with current plans with environmental assessment programs, which we see at the Ministry of Environment, and we see the proposals for grid operator, we see that in 4 years, Lithuania will become electricity exporting country. This will be implemented through offshore wind parks, which would amount of same capacity as somewhere before for a nuclear power plant, which was planned to be built. Onshore wind is rising with almost 1 windmill a day in Lithuania, and solar power plants still to be implemented with financial support from EU, Recovery Resilience Fund, and other national sources. But this is those sources are not the only ones. We account on the government level around 14 billion euros of various grants and guaranteed loans for green transition, which money is available until 2030, and this comes in a leverage with one-to-one with a private investment. Money is available both for private companies and governmental and people in general. So there's money behind also plans. Of course, taxation comes as a proper push, but there's also a monetary and fiscal backing behind it. To my last slide, to come short, as said in the start, Lithuania will boost its economy through green investments. Almost no jobs to be lost. We have learned the lessons of the past, and Lithuania with Klaipėda's Nafta LNG terminal has become a prime example during the gas crisis in recent years. Jobs are created both locally and also regionally if we are front runners in certain areas, especially in harbor activities. But at the same time, we have also challenges. There's still challenges in logistics sector to make it feasible to decarbonize sectors which are very energy intensive. And this is especially a big problem and issue for the road transport. Port and the rail, which are good measures and can compete with road, should be expanded, and road transport is a difficult topic. Building efficiency comes into our focus. Billions of euros will be invested through private grants to Lithuanian housing, state-owned housing and private-owned housing, but money is short, so the grant amounts will lower, and there will be push from below through legislation when energy efficiency should be done in an obligatory sense, not in a voluntarily sense. Not like in Latvia and Estonia, Lithuania hosts several energy-intensive industries like cement, fertilizer factories, and oil refinery. We do have a necessity of carbon capture storage. I don't know if it will be done in Lithuania or it will be done in the North Sea, still to be discussed in your panel. But decarbonization strategies, which is present in Norwegian companies, are very much of interest in Lithuanian big industrial companies. And of course, there's increasing inequality in Lithuania through regional inequality. So we have to make green transition as popular as possible in the region, because it's mostly regional jobs to be created, and Klaipėda jobs as well. So I wish you a productive discussion, and once again, thank you for the Norwegian Embassy, Klaipėda Municipality and Port Authority for having a third time Klaipėda Manifesto, a very proper way to discuss how we can solve decarbonize continental emissions and companies through activities offshore. Good luck.